Biafra was part of main Nigeria, but the people of Biafra were led by a man called Odumengulu Ojukwe. In this kind of arrangement, Biafra wanted to be a country of its own. So in 1967, the Biafra of secession emerged, where the people of Biafra wanted to be independent. In this kind of arrangement, did the Biafrans succeed? So we are saying the secession was led by Colonel Odumengulu Ojukwe, and it was declared on 11th August 1967 against the federal government of Nigeria under Yakubu Gowon. So we are realizing that the people of Biafra wanted to secede from main Nigeria. But the hard question is, what were the causes of the Biafra of secession? Number one, the British system of indirect rule introduced by LWAKI, in other words, colonial legacy. So the British system of indirect rule, where we believe by this time the British used indirect rule to control Nigeria. In this kind of arrangement, they used one group of people to control others. So this kind of indirect rule annoyed the people of Biafra. So the Biafrans had a reason to agitate for a secession, claiming that another group allowed the British to control them. So we are saying the British system of indirect rule introduced by LWAKI made the Biafrans to agitate for a secession. Another one, the division of the country into 3 regions. It is said the country was divided into 3 regions. For example, Northern region, Eastern region. So it is this that made one region to be favored more than others. So in this kind of arrangement, this made the people of Biafra to rise up and agitate for a secession. So in this kind of arrangement, as I usually tell you, that Kasoma Farouk of Uganda is putting a caveat on this number. In other words, these are the real what? The real points. We are challenging minds. What made the people of Biafra to agitate for secession? Another one, regional imbalance. In this kind of arrangement, there was regional imbalance when it came to development. We believe some regions were sidelined. This made the people of Biafra to agitate for secession in this kind of arrangement, where for them they believed that they could develop them themselves, since they were not catered for. Then ethnic clashes. It is said there were ethnic clashes. There were some group of people, the Fulani, in this kind of arrangement, the Igbos. So these groups of people were clashing against one another. So it was a question of ethnic clashes that led to the Biafra of secession. In this kind of arrangement, where the people of Biafra had to agitate for what? A secession, because they were conflicting with others. Then the 1966 coups, January and July. In this kind of arrangement, the coups rose up in Nigeria. This made the people of Biafra to believe that the government was not fit enough to solve their problems. That's why different groups of people were seceding. So the 1966 coups led to the Biafra of secession, where the people of Biafra based on that to agitate for a secession. Another one, the failure of Gowani's Constitutional Review Conference. Gowan came up with the Constitutional Review Conference. This conference was made to change the constitution, to allow freedom, to give freedom to the people. But by this time, the Gowanese Constitutional Review Conference failed. This made the people of Biafra to believe that they had to agitate for a secession, claiming that Gowan was not solving their problems. Then the massacre of the Igbos in September 1966, as the Igbos were massacred in September 1966, it is this that led to the Biafra War of Secession. In this kind of arrangement, as the Igbos in this kind of arrangement were massacred in September 1966, it is this that led to the Biafra of what? Secession. Where I can say, as many Igbos were massacred, these were from Biafra. The government killed so many Igbos. This annoyed the Igbos, and they agitated for a secession. Then the army mutiny in Kanu. The army rose up against the government. As the army rose up against the government, this made the Igbos in Biafra to believe that they had to agitate for a secession, since even the army was rising up against the government. Then Gowani's decision to divide Nigeria into 12 states. In this kind of arrangement, Gowan made a decision of dividing Nigeria into 12 states. As Gowan made a decision to divide Nigeria into 12 states, the Igbos from Biafra were not happy with this. That's why they had to agitate for what? A secession. Because for them, they wanted Biafra to be a country of its own. Then the discovery and development of oil in the East. I can say, as oil was discovered in the East, it is this that made the Igbos believe that even if we secede today, we can sustain ourselves, since we have oil. And this led to the Biafra War of Secession. Since the Igbos believed that they could sustain themselves. Then Ojukwe's personality and character. In this kind of arrangement, it was a question of Ojukwe's personality and character. Odumengulu Ojukwe, in his personality, for him, he had a great belief. He wanted to become a leader. It was because of this personality of great ambition that led to the Biafra of Secession, where Ojukwe believed that for him, he was supposed to become a leader. That's why he wanted the Biafra to secede, so that he could become the president of Biafra. Then the sympathy from the outside world. It is said, as some countries supported the Biafran to secede, it is this that gave them confidence, and they had to agitate for a secession, because they were supported by some Western countries. Then the denial of the Easterners of posts in the civil service. It is said, when it came to the civil service, the Easterners were not considered. As the Easterners were not considered in the civil service, it is this that led to the Biafra of Secession. Because they claimed that, since we are not considered, let us agitate for a what? A secession. Then the declaration of Biafra's independence. It is said the Biafrans declared their independence. The central government under Yakubu Gowon could not accept this. it is this that agitated for secession. Because in this kind of arrangement, Yakub Gowon could not allow the Biafrans to be independent. So it is this that led to the Biafra of secession. Then unfair recruitment in the army, 211 policy. In this kind of arrangement, there was what you call unfair recruitment in the army, where the people from Biafra were not so much considered in the army as the people from Biafra were not so much considered in the army. This annoyed them, and this led to the Biafra of secession, where the people of Biafra had to agitate for a secession since they were not considered anyway. Then the manipulation of the population census results, 1963 to 64. It is said the manipulation of the population census results. In these results, it was announced that, of course, the Biafrans were not so many in the country. The people of Biafra were against the population census results. They based on this, and they had to agitate for secession, claiming that the government was not favoring them. Then religious differences, where I can say some groups of people, Nigeria were Muslims, people in Biafra, most of them were Christians. So in this kind of arrangement, they could not accept to be led by Muslims. That's why they had to agitate for a secession. Then the dictatorship of the federal government. It is said the federal government under Yakub Gowon was full of dictatorship. In this kind of arrangement, the voice of the people of Biafra was not honored. It is this that made Odumengul Ojukwe to capitalize on this, and then he had to agitate for a secession. So the year 1967 to 70, there was what we call Biafra of secession, where the people of Biafra wanted to be independent from Omeni, Nigeria.